As the horror genre continues through one of its most creatively robust periods, you might be asking yourself what you need to see and what you can skip. Anytime is the right time to watch horror. From The Devil's Backbone to the Blair Witch Project, films have found fear from a wide variety of sources over the decades. In this video, we're going to tell you about top 10 best horror movies of all time. The video is going to be amazing, so make sure you stick till the end. Number 10. The Exorcist, 1973. The Exorcist is a 1973 American supernatural horror film produced and written for the screen by William Peter Blatty and directed by William Friedkin, based on the 1971 novel of the same name by Blatty. The film is well known for the mass hysteria it inspired across the country, from protests over its controversial subject matter to widespread reports of nausea and fainting in the audience. William Friedkin's adaptation of the eponymous novel about a demon-possessed child and the attempts to banish said demon became the highest-grossing R-rated horror film ever and the first to be nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. Its dramatic pacing and somewhat dated effects may seem quaint compared to some contemporary horror, but there's no denying the power the film continues to have over those who see it for the first time. Some viewers suffered adverse physical reactions and fainting. The movie was released in 24 theaters in the United States and Canada in late December. Despite mixed critical reviews, audiences flocked to it, waiting in long lines during winter weather, and many doing so more than once. Number 9. Let the Right One In, 2008. Let the Right One In is a 2008 Swedish romantic horror film directed by Thomas Alfredson, based on the 2004 novel of the same title by John Ajvide Lindqvist, who also wrote the screenplay. The film tells the story of a bullied 12-year-old boy who develops a friendship with an old vampire trapped in a teenager's body in Blackeberg, a suburb of Stockholm in the early 1980s. Vampires were getting more than a little anemic and long in the tooth, but this fascinating adaptation of John Lindqvist's celebrated novel popped up and reminded us that vampire movies could still draw blood. It won several awards, including the Founders Award for Best Narrative Feature at the Tribeca Film Festival, as well as Best Cinematography for Van Hoytema, 4 Gold Bag Awards, including Best Director for Alfredson and Best Screenplay for Lindqvist. Number 8. The Devil's Backbone, 2001. The Devil's Backbone is a 2001 gothic horror film directed by Guillermo del Toro and written by del Toro, David Munoz, and Antonio Tresoras. Most of Guillermo del Toro's films could be described as horror stories in one way or another. The man is a genius at creating monsters who are lonely, misunderstood, and sometimes terrifying. But for the man's most effective chills, you must seek out this brilliant film about a 12-year-old boy whose father has died in the Spanish Civil War, arrives at an ominous boys' orphanage. He discovers the school is haunted and has many dark secrets which he must uncover. If you liked the video and want more content like this, comment down below about your favorite part of the video or what you dislike, and share, and also subscribe to Top 10 Everythingz with notification bells on all. It will help the channel grow. Thank you for watching. Now back to the video. Number 7. Insidious, 2010. Insidious is a 2010 American-Canadian supernatural horror film written by Leigh Whannell, directed by James Wan, and starring Patrick Wilson and Barbara Hershey. But before James Wan and Patrick Wilson made The Conjuring, they worked together on this supernatural thriller about a young boy who falls into a coma and begins to channel a malevolent spirit. Wan collaborator Leigh Whannell infused it with a compelling enough mythology that it spawned 3 more installments. Insidious had its world premiere on September 14, 2010 at the 2010 Toronto International Film Festival and received a wide theatrical release on April 1, 2011 by Film District. Number 6. Get Out, 2017. Get Out is a 2017 American horror film written and directed by Jordan Peele in his directorial debut. First-time feature director Jordan Peele brings more than enough originality to the party, partially because he's not afraid to bring up difficult questions related to racial inequality. But he's also damn insistent on delivering a strange and unpredictable thriller that doesn't skimp on what horror fans want. A young African-American visits his white girlfriend's parents for the weekend, where his simmering uneasiness about their perception of him eventually reaches a boiling point. Astute horror fans will notice all sorts of DNA floating through this tale of abduction and alienation. Number 5. The Blair Witch Project, 1999. The Blair Witch Project is a 1999 American supernatural horror film written, directed, and edited by Daniel Myrick and Eduardo Sanchez. A group of clever young filmmakers rolled the dice on a style of filmmaking that very few people had dabbled in, crafted their own freaky mythology, delivered a powerful collection of scares, and leaving only their footage behind. When The Blair Witch Project premiered at the Sundance Film Festival at midnight on January 23, 1999, its promotional marketing campaign listed the actors as either missing or deceased. Some see an aimless collection of footage about three naive filmmakers who get lost in the woods, others see a masterfully suspenseful minimalist thriller that delivers a unique set of scares. Number 4. Paranormal Activity, 2007. Paranormal Activity is a 2007 American supernatural horror film produced, written, directed, photographed, and edited by Oren Peli. The first movie from now horror staple Oren Peli introduces us to Katie and Micah, who have been experiencing some odd goings-on in their LA home. Ever the keen filmmaker, Micah sets up a camera at the foot of their bed to keep an eye on things while they sleep. The film utilizes found footage conventions that were mirrored in the later films of the series. The infamous shot from the bottom of Katie and Micah's bed is a masterclass in slow burn terror. Every simple extended shot as the clock ticks forward becomes an agonizingly tense eye test. Number 3. Videodrome, 1983. Videodrome is a 1983 Canadian science fiction body horror film written and directed by David Cronenberg and starring James Woods, Sonja Smits, and Debbie Harry. This disturbingly prescient sci-fi mindbender from the early 80s is one of the man's true classics. James Woods, typecast, plays a sleazebag who stumbles across a horrific TV channel that not only desensitizes its viewers to shocking violence, it actually makes you part of the broadcast. Number 2. Horror of Dracula, 1958. Dracula is a 1958 British Gothic horror film directed by Terence Fisher and written by Jimmy Sangster based on Bram Stoker's 1897 novel of the same title. Jonathan Harker begets the ire of Count Dracula after he accepts a job at the vampire's castle under false pretenses, forcing his colleague Dr. Van Helsing to hunt the predatory villain when he targets Harker's loved ones. In the United States, the film was retitled Horror of Dracula to avoid confusion with the US original by Universal Pictures' 1931's Dracula. Number 1. The Babadook, 2014. The Babadook is a 2014 Australian psychological horror film written and directed by Jennifer Kent in her directorial debut and produced by Christina Caton and Christian Molleri. The Babadook is scary, the tale of a young grieving widow trying to look after her young son. This is a movie that sneaks under your skin and stays there. On the surface, you might mistake the Babadook for something from the Conjuring universe, but delve in and this is an intelligent, grueling fright fest with a knowledge of exactly what you're afraid of, even if you didn't know it when you sat down to watch. The film premiered at the 2014 Sundance Film Festival on 17 January and generated attention and critical acclaim in the United States and Europe. The parallels between grief and depression are no accident, and it's interesting to note that one of the most disturbing sequences in the movie has nothing to do with a monster, but everything to do with a young mother losing control of her son while she tries to drive. It also makes you ask yourself a lot of questions. Would you read it to your already traumatized young son? What if he begged? What would you do with a pop-up book about a creepy black-clad figure in a top hat? And how would you deal with the haunting that followed? What do you think? Which movie is the most horror one? Let us know your opinion in the comment section below. This was all for today. Hope you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the bell icon for more updates and notifications. Stay safe, and we'll be back soon with another video.